Hello and welcome to the Trevor channel. I'm Jason, your host. Today I'm trying to do a bit of an introspective on things, to look more on the positive side of things, to fight against depression and stuff like that. It's always nice to take, and I want to think about Trevor. You see, most of you know what happened during the last few years and the traumatic events and that. We still don't have any idea whether or not that was fully Trevor, whether it was in part his girlfriend, or whether or not it was some outside influence due to any other thing that was going on in the house, and that we'll never know. But what a lot of you don't know is all the good things that Trevor did in the past. You think, my trust of Trevor and my thinking of him as a surrogate father, an adopted father, this wasn't a blind trust thing. You've got to remember that when my mum moved down here to this place and bought this house, and Trevor lived next door, they became friends over time, and they became more than friends, they became partners. And not only did he did take my mum. My mum never liked to go. My mum always saved her money up for me and for Paola. Always did. Always focused on me and Paola and looking after us. No matter how many times we tried to get her to do stuff for herself, she wouldn't. She was completely focused on us. And it took Trevor to be able to take. Before that, yes, she did end up in Scotland, and over to France when she had a boyfriend earlier in her life. But apart from that, she hadn't been out of the country or on holiday for years and years and years. And Trevor got her to go to France, got her to go to America, and that. And so those were a positive side to it. This was before my mum's dementia and everything. She got to go to the other side of the world and stuff like that. This was when, at that point, we started to see mental issues that we've realised now was the dementia really starting. But my mum, she, at the same time, Trevor not only volunteered back then to take me and Paola to every single appointment, hospital appointment, and I mean everything, to take us to the vet, to take us wherever me and Paola wanted to go. People have said, didn't you have Motability? This is why. Back then, Paola was on the highest level of disability, and we could have had Motability, but why? Why would we have that when Trevor was always there for us, would take us anywhere? Every appointment to hospital, he did all of that. That was not a fake. That happened. He sold his car, which was a tiny little Peugeot 206 or something like that, and he bought a Jaguar Sports Brake F model specifically for Paola, specifically so that Paola could have a comfortable ride and be driven around in. He did that back then. And this is why it was always so hard to judge and to see anything wrong, because back then he was there for me and Paola through everything, and he was the one who got me to the hospital before Paola died by running red lights. He was the one who did all of that. And when my mum when the dementia kicked in fully, he was the one who stuck with my mum and changed her diapers. I mean, this was the thingy about it. There was no signs or anything that anything was wrong. So all of that was a complete positive about it. And I had no reason to doubt him in any way, shape or form. I would have done anything for Trevor back then. And when my mum died, and that's when that's when things started to go iffy. But we didn't see it. I never saw it. Well, not when my mum died. My mum didn't die. My mum went into care, and when Paola died, that's when things went wrong. My apology about that. And looking back on it, you see, he was living in this house. And I was next door. And that's when we decided that, yeah, if anything happened to my mum, that we would just swap deeds. So he could be in this house with my mum's memories, and I could be in the next door with Paola's memories. This was our reasonable thing. But this is when things went wrong, because he never told his children. He never did any of the things like put it in writing like he was supposed to. And this is when my mum's bank account started to drain. But he never told us any of this. Even to the point of Trevor would tell me that, would ask me if I needed anything, if there was any. He knew how much my mum used to buy stuff and do stuff and look after me and support my disability and keep me going. And so he always says, no, we won't. He basically said that you won't have access to your mum's money and that because she's now in a home and that. So if you need anything at all, just tell me and I'll use my money, and then you can owe me. When my mum passes away, just pay me back from her money. And this is why I had no idea that money was being used from my mum's account. He would, if something came up and we needed money for something to replace computers or anything like that would be dealt with, because he knew what my mum was like. And he would say, okay, I've got to go over to Stafford to get money out of my account. He would always say that. And he'd leave the house. And he'd come back with money. I didn't know that he was actually going to my mum's account and emptying my mum's account. But after seeing all the problems to do with Lisa when she moved in next door, and the way she blindsided me, and I trusted everything she said, and I didn't know about all the things that happened with her. And after I found the anti-opioid injections in the house and everything like that, I definitely don't think this was all Trevor. Some of it was definitely Trevor. Some of it was definitely Trevor. Like, I was there when he said to me every time that he would go to his bank in Stafford and take out money to help me. And the documents from my mum's bank show that those were the times when he went straight up to the local bank and got money out of my mum's account instead. So I know that happened, and I know that when he had to get a new set of tyres for the Jaguar, that he said he was going out and working, and instead he wasn't. He got the money from mum's account, and things like that. I know from my own self, I can verify a lot of the things that happened during that time that were lies. And I can verify some of the things from the other side, but everything else is a question mark. I don't hate him. I can't hate him because for over 24 years he looked after me and my mum. Not 24 years, it would have been 14 years, my apology. I was thinking most of the time that me and Paola were together. And this is the guy who every Tuesday night would come from, when my mum lived here, would come from here with my mum to me and Paola's disabled bungalow and come on a Tuesday night, and we would order takeout and we would watch a film and we would play with the dogs and everything. This is why it was all so hard to, and so it felt like such a betrayal. I will never know who took all the jewellery and everything. I will never know who it was, him or partner, who sold all of Mum's ornaments and pottery and everything. I will never know the instigating force, which one of them was the instigating force, because I never saw it, so I can't judge it. No, I don't hate. I feel betrayed for the loss of the legacy of my mum's and the damage done to the house. And I know a lot of that was him. Like, I know that he had to be the one who disassembled the combi boiler. He had to be the one who didn't do any repairs on this house. He had to be the one who instigated the kitchen debacle and selling off stuff like that. He had to be that person. But was it him, or was it his partner, his girlfriend, who pushed him into these things? I will never know. I will never ever know what happened to the rest of my mum's jewellery, because she had masses of really old jewellery that is all gone. I will never know any of that stuff. But I cannot deny all the good that Trevor did before whatever that cut-off point was. While he was, I mean, whatever that cut-off point was, before that point he was there completely 100% for me and for Paola, and saw Paola as an adoptive daughter. He always doted over and would do anything for Paola. So all that stuff before, and looking after my mum and taking her to America and everything, and all those things that definitely happened, to the point afterwards when everything fell apart. This is why that the dichotomy was there, why he wasn't the atypical evil person or anything like that. He was, from every action. Of course, I now know that he spent money on, my mum's money, on so many different people. And he spent my mum's money on holidays and things like that. And he never... And never, all the questions were always there. But I never saw this. Was it the influence of this new girlfriend? I will never know. But I don't hate him. Because the bad stuff was this amount of time here. The good stuff was this amount of time here. Maybe he did have a mental breakdown. Maybe reality became too... Because he obviously was not in reality, because right up until the weeks before he passed away, he was still saying, if you need anything, just say, no problems if you need anything, because then I'll just go up to Stafford and get some money out, and then you pay me back if your mum passes away. And by this point in time, my mum's bank accounts were empty. So he was living in a delusional state at that point in time. That I actually saw for myself. That I witnessed as we had our daily talk over the fence. But no, I don't have hatred for Trevor in any way, shape or form, because of what he did for Paola. He never betrayed Paola, he never did anything wrong, and he made sure that he's got to remember, when Paola was in hospital, Trevor would make sure that I'd get to the hospital at 6 a.m. every day. I would make sure he was available to bring me home from the hospital with Paola every day. He would never let me pay for petrol. He would never let me pay for anything. That is the difference. This wasn't a fake thing. This was years and years and years. So this is why I believe that either the influence of Lisa or a mental breakdown is the only things I can think of, because Trevor was not evil. Not in the stereotypical way or in any way, shape or form. And even though the damage and destruction to this house, I think it had to be a mental issue, not a intent issue. I believe myself that he was living in a fantasy world, and maybe because I know stuff like, I know he tried to convince other people that stuff in the house he had done, when I know it had been my mum who did it, and so on. So no, I don't hate in any way, shape or form Trevor. I'm sad and betrayed that all the stuff that happened and the damage to the house and that, but it was either drugs or mental health or influence from outside of people as well. I think it had to be some things like that. So I can't. Him. So this is Jason for the Quiver channel. I hope you're all having a good day.